Morning. Today we are going to discuss about the anti-anxiety drug. Now, coming to the topic, what is meant by the anxiety? Now, anxiety is a emotional state, unpleasant in nature, associated with uneasiness, discomfort, and concern or fear about some defined or undefined future threat. Now, it is nothing but a mental stress. Clear? It is a stress. That's why it is also called as a anxiety is a natural response to the stress. Whenever we are in the stress, we are into the emotional stress, or it may be the other due to the other things. If there is a stress, it will cause the anxiety. So it is a emotional stress, unpleasant in nature, and it is uneasiness, discomfort, it will be there. And some degree of anxiety, it is a part of our normal life. So anxiety, it is a part of our normal life, but when it is increases, it is when it is become the chronic, then there is a requirement of the drug. So anti-anxiety drug, these are the ill-defined group of drug. Ill-defined means here the different types of the drugs are there. We are going to see that. That's why it is shown as not a specific group of the drug. Mostly mild CNS depression. They are producing the CNS depression, but they are having the mild effect. Of course, some other drugs also it is there that we are going to discuss, which are aimed to control the symptoms of anxiety, produce restfulness, stress of mind without interfering with the normal mental or the physical function. So they may produce the CNS depressant effect, and through that way they are reducing the anxiety. Now the different classes of the anti-anxiety drugs are there. These are the benzodiazepines, azapirone, sedative antihistaminic, and beta blocker. So these are the different types of the drugs are there. Now coming to the antihistaminic drugs, generally the histamine, although this particular chapter we are going to study about the next semester, that is the autocoid histamine, but histamine, it is the autocoid, it is a chemical, already we have gone through. Now this histamine, they having the three different type of the receptor, H1, H2 and H3. H1 is responsible for the allergic effect, clear, allergic effect. So the several H1 antihistamine antagonists, that means these are the drugs, mainly it is used as an anti-allergic drug. They have been used as a sedative and hypnotics. Clear? They have been used as a sedative and hypnotics. But we need to understand that this particular type of the drug are that is the, though they are producing the sedative and hypnotics, actually there is their side effect which is used as a clinically as a purpose for the treatment of the another disease. Next is adreno blocking agent. Now adrenoreceptor, mainly you have studies like propranolol, non-selective beta blocker. They are widely used into the cardiovascular diseases. Now what is the general things for the beta blocker? They can you can say that they are not directly reduce the anxiety, but due to the anxiety there is a different autonomic response are associated with the anxiety, so they will be helpful to reduce this. For example, tremor, sweetening, tachycardia, palpitation. So these are the things. It will be reduced by the propranolol type of the drug. So it is not directly reducing the anxiety, but they are helpful to reduce the symptoms. Now coming to the benzodiazepine like diazepam, lorazepam, chlordiazepam type of the drugs, already these are the drugs already we have discussed in their details, but again I just want to remind you that benzodiazepine, they are generally you can say that act on the thalamus and the limbic system, and main target is the GABA A receptor. Now you know that GABA A is a ligand gated ion channel receptor which enclosing the chloride channel, clear, chloride channel. And this GABA A, if you see about the GABA A, it is consist of the 2 alpha, 2 beta and 1 GABA subunit. 5 subunit is there, 2 alpha, 2 beta and gamma, and there is a benzodiazepine binding site and then GABA binding site are there. So benzodiazepine binding site, it is located between the alpha and gamma subunit. So already You know that, and it is GABA. You can say benzodiazepine. It is act on the this GABA A receptor, and GABA is enclosing the chloride channel. So whenever the benzodiazepine it will act on that, they will increase the frequency of channel opening produced by the GABA. So that is in causing benzodiazepine increases the frequency of the channel opening produced by the GABA. And if the chloride channel is open, what will happen? Chloride will come inside. So membrane potential it will go down. If the membrane potential go down, it will cause the sedation. So like sedative hypnotic we are telling that, but here the effect is mild, so dose it is less. Now coming to the last type of the drug, that is the buspirone type of the drug. Now buspirone is a first example of this class of the anxiolytic agent. Now generally you can say that it is gives relief from the different symptoms which is associated with the anxiety. Clear? It is anxiety, but they do not cause the sedation. So buspirone it is not related to the any other psychotropic drugs. For example, if you can then like sedative in hypnotics, it is mainly acting onto the our nervous system. They are going to depress it. They cause the sedation or the they will induce the sleep. Now here azapirone, they do not produce significant sedation or cognitive or functional impairment. So they do not cause the sedation or cognitive or the functional impairment. So that is the important point. They do not act on the benzodiazepine receptor or GABAergic transmission. That means they do not act on the GABA A or the GABA B. They are not going to act on the GABA A or the GABA B. That means they will not act on the benzodiazepine receptor. Benzodiazepine receptor means here mainly GABA A. So they won't act on that. They do not produce tolerance or physical dependence. Now generally those drugs are acting on the CNS, mainly in case of the benzodiazepine. What is the major problem? Already as we have discussed in sedative and hypnotic, they are producing the physical dependence. So this problem it is not associated with the buspirone. So they will not cause the physical dependence. Then do not suppress the benzodiazepine and you can say that barbiturate withdrawal symptoms. That means suddenly if we are stopping those type of the benzodiazepine and barbiturate, they will produce some problems. So these are the things it is not going to suppress by buspirone. And they do not have the muscle relaxant or anticonvulsant activity, because we have seen the diazepam of that type of the drug, though they are you can say the sedative and hypnotic, but they have the muscle relaxant and the anticonvulsant activity also. So buspirone it is not having those type of the activity. Now if they do not act on the GABAergic system, how they are going to act? So main it is seen that they are acting on the 5-HT1A receptor. Now serotonin or 5-HT, that is another autocoid. This is another autocoid. Now it is you can say that this particular serotonin they are acting on the different types of the receptor. Now you can say that like 5-HT1, 5-HT2, 5-HT3, 5-HT4, 5-HT4, 5-HT6 and 5-HT7. Among them 5-HT3 is the ligand gated, all are the GPCR. That means you can say that they are acting by the either the adrenal cyclic AMP pathway, IP3 DEC pathway, or the channel regulation. Now here this 5-HT1 receptor, again they are subclassified as a 5-HT1A, 1B, 1C, but here they are mainly going to act on the 5-HT1A. Clear? It is act on the as a partial agonist, and they are going to inhibit that one. Clear? They are going to inhibit this central nervous system. In chronic case, whenever we are using the very chronic use of this buspirone, that time they may produce the 5-HT2, and that is responsible for the anxiety, as well as they are acting on the D2 receptor, dopamine 2 receptor, but that effect is not related to their anxiolytic activities. Now anxiolytic activity is mainly produced through that interaction with 5-HT1A receptor. So these are the different drugs are there under the 5 you can say that anxiolytic drugs. Thank you.